What's up, family?
Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video in a brand new week. And just before I explain what we're going to do today, we are actually celebrating our 2-year YouTube anniversary this week. So
YouTubeversary. That sounds like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 3.
well, we've been on YouTube for 2 years. So thank you for all of you that have been watching and liking and sharing and commenting and just being supportive. We really do appreciate it. But for today's video, we are going to be doing kind of like a little review of a lot of movies that have been released in 2022, giving our opinions and our thoughts. If you've checked them out, let's see if you agree, and if you haven't, you'll get a review right now. So please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, talk to us, like, whatever. Enjoy.
Before we begin, we're doing movie reviews. But before we begin, we want to give a special shout out to a series called The Terminalist, starring Chris Pratt, because holy shit, is that thing good.
We just finished it.
So that needs to be said. If you haven't seen The Terminalist, it's on Amazon Prime. Watch it. It's amazing. Okay.
Definitely.
So I think we'll kick things off with a movie called The Adam Project, starring Ryan Reynolds. That was released on Netflix a while back this year. That was awesome. That was a really cool movie. I liked all the Star Wars references and the Deadpool references and the MCU references, and hell, anything that Ryan Reynolds has ever been in referenced. He even referenced Blake Lively. He was in Blake Lively as well. So, but yeah, it was a good movie. We both liked it. I'll give it about an 8 out of 10.
I will also give it an 8. It was really good, really funny. I mean, besides everything that you just mentioned, I mean, it's got a good story as well.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Alright, so another movie that we also recently watched is The Lost City. It has, why did I almost just say Christian Bale? Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock. Brad Pitt is in there. Who else is in there?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yes, he's the villain. And it's a very funny movie.
It was a funny experience, not gonna lie. I didn't expect as much from the movie as I got, so.
I laughed quite a lot, but it is one of those movies, I watched it and I'm done.
Yeah? It, like years from now, maybe again, but I'll give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll also give it a 6.5. It's a good movie. Watch it. You'll have a few laughs.
But it's a one and done kind of deal.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on to a movie that got a lot of hate for some apparent reason. I get why like hardcore fans hated the movie, but Morbius, starring Jared Leto, it got a lot of hate. Like, this movie really scored bad internationally. And I watched the movie, and to be honest, it wasn't that bad as everyone made it out to be. I think it was an okay introduction for the character, and I wouldn't be too mad at them if they made a second one or introduced him in the future in one of the Spider-Man films, maybe. But it was an okay, mediocre movie. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, and I think Jared Leto, who is Morbius, he plays those kind of dark, weird, almost characters.
Basically, when he portrays a character as himself, he does really well.
He does really well. And I honestly enjoyed the movie. I expected nothing from it. Like, I went in with like low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I'll give it a 7. Alright, another movie that we watched, Jurassic World Dominion.
The third one.
The third one in the new franchise. I've always been a fan of Jurassic Park, the 90s movies. So when they made the new ones with Chris Pratt, like, I followed it from the beginning. And this one, it was good, but it's definitely the
I felt like there was no real story there whatsoever. They were like, let's get a bunch of fantastic actors. Let's get like the best CGI team we can find, and make a movie. And then the writers were like, but we don't have a story. And they were like, yeah, just write something.
Yeah.
There was no real plot to this movie whatsoever.
It did seem a bit...
It's like they took a bunch of scenes, threw it together, and they were like, there's the movie. I lost interest quite a few times. Well, I really had to like grind to finish the movie. So for this third one, I'll give it about a 6. That's the highest I can go for that.
I thought the movie was quite long. I thought it could have been a bit shorter and still have the same story, make sense. But what I did like is that they brought the people from the original
That
trilogy.
was cool. That was a nice touch.
They brought them back, which I loved. I would give the movie a 7.
Another movie that came out this year, 2022, was Scream. And the latest chapter in the Scream franchise, which fucking sucked. Like the first 2 Scream movies were okay,
Yeah.
and then it was like, okay, let's rehash all the old ideas with new characters and keep doing that. And that's exactly what they did with this one. All the old cast members came back. And it was really cool seeing Jack Quaid in this movie. That what for me was like one of the best things about this movie. A lot of people who watch The Boys will probably know Jack from there as, you know, he's kind of one of the main characters in that. But that was cool. But I can't give this movie more than a 5. I'm sorry, but it's just not that good.
I will also give it a 5. It was my least favorite, or one of the least favorites from the entire franchise. And I'm not going to say who, but one of the main characters died. And
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the movie yet.
yes, and that kind of sucked to me. I didn't think it was necessary. So
Yeah.
Alright, so up next is a little animation movie for you guys, The Bad Guys. That is obviously fun for the entire family. It's super funny, very
I'm not
clever.
a big animation fan, but even I enjoyed this movie.
It's very cleverly written, very witty.
It feels a lot like Despicable Me, but with animals.
Yeah, yes, it's about animals. Like Big Bad Wolf is in there, and then they're like, just watch it. We don't want to give the entire storyline, but it's very good.
It was funny. I'll give it about a 7.
I will also give it a 7.
Yeah.
There are better animations, but
Despicable Me.
But there have also been some really bad ones lately, and this one was kind of a step up again. So, a 7.
Now a movie that the whole world was ranting and raving about, and to this day I will never understand it. The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. I was really excited going into this movie. Watched it. I do not see the hype. And people are probably going to hate me in the comments. I don't care. I don't get the hype behind this movie. It was not that good. Doesn't matter how you look at the movie. The storyline, it was okay. I like that. But it's so bland. It's not Batman. That's not the vibe that you want from a Batman movie. I don't know. I don't get the whole, oh, it's probably one of the best movies of our time. Bullshit. It's not one of the best movies of our time.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best Batman. I honestly prefer Ben Affleck's Batman. And the thing is,
Christian Bale was the best Batman.
The best.
Let's just put it there. I mean, he was amazing.
And
Ben Affleck was he really stepped up from Daredevil, which we loved. What the fuck was Pattinson doing?
And I'm a big Pattinson fan, honestly, and I was rooting for him, and he didn't do a bad job, but...
He's Bruce Wayne. Was the emo kid that sits at the back of the class wanting you to feel sorry for him?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll give this movie a 6.
I can't give it more than a 6.
Okay, another movie that we watched, which is probably my least favorite on this entire list, is Deep Water, starring Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, and 2 brilliant, actors and actress, but that movie kind of just sucked.
I literally think all the dudes watched this movie just to see Ana de Armas' tits.
Probably.
That's the whole reason.
Because
that's why it was viewed so many times.
At the beginning of the movie, it kind of seems interesting, and it's like
it starts off like really kind of like a Gone Girl type of vibe movie, like some shit's about to go down, and it quickly spirals out of control.
Yeah, and then it's really actually about a very messed up relationship, and it's like, man, that is just toxic, and I do not want to see that stuff. So yeah, I'll give it a 4.
I'll give it a. I don't think I can go higher than a 5.5 for that. Like, and I'm being generous here. That was it was a clusterfuck of a movie. Going on to a movie that came out, I was excited because I'm a fan of the actor, and I wasn't sure what to expect, and then I watched it and I absolutely fucking loved it. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Nicolas Cage. I thought, okay, a lot of the times when they make a movie about somebody in specific, and they have to play themselves, it's kind of a letdown. This was not a letdown at all. I laughed. I thought it was, really well written. The action in there was good. The story was fun. So I enjoyed the movie for what it was, which was a spoof of a spoof. So I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah, that is quite a long title. But the movie is good. I think I expected a bit more of it. Maybe a lot more laughs. I mean, there's definitely laughs in there, especially from Nicolas Cage. He makes the movie worth watching, obviously. But yeah, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have really bothered to see the movie. I would give it a 6. Alright, so another movie that is one of my favorites of the year so far that we've watched is Death on the Nile. It is, the follow-up movie or the next movie from Murder on the Orient Express, right?
The Agatha Christie
books.
Novel
Yes.
movies.
And it's like a mystery thing about, you basically have to figure out who killed who, and it's like at one point
It's a whodunit.
everyone looks like they're guilty, and then even you're surprised at the end, like, oh, what? And it's so clever, and it's kind of suspensey as well. It got a lot of great actors and actresses in there, and I give it a 7.5.
I'll give it a 7 because I enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express a little bit more. And unfortunately for me, there was some predictable moments in this movie where I was like, oh shit, okay, I know who the killer is. And that kind of threw it off for me. But, the first one was more intricate, but it's not a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, I'm just saying I enjoyed the first one more. But yeah, 7. Going on to probably, it's a movie based on my favorite video game of all time, Uncharted. A lot of the times when they make a video game into a movie, it's a big letdown, and there's stuff in there that you're like, okay, this is really crappy. I didn't feel that with this movie at all. I was very surprised that Tom Holland was cast as Nathan Drake. He did a very good job. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed the way that this movie went down. And Mark Wahlberg as Sully, interesting choice, but it kind of worked out. The chemistry on screen between those two was good. And yeah, it's an adventure movie. I'm a sucker for an adventure movie. I'll give this one a 7.5. It was really, really well written, well acted. I enjoyed it.
I'm going to score this movie an 8. I really enjoyed it, and I love Tom Holland and I love Mark Wahlberg. So the two of them together, it was something for me. I was so excited to see them together in a movie. And I have played a little bit of the games, so I was just a fan of the games already. So the movie just made it that much more exciting to watch. And so yeah, I'll give it a solid 8.
And Uncharted is one of my favorite movies of the year thus far.
Alright, so a movie that has recently released on Netflix, The Man from Toronto.
Kev Hart.
This movie is very funny. I think most people would enjoy it. Kevin Hart, obviously, main character, and Woody Harrelson, and the two of them play completely different characters, but together they work well on a very weird level.
It was a good recipe there.
And it is on Netflix, so you can go watch it right now. That would probably be my number one. Like, if you had to watch it right now, go watch that one. I feel like
it has a ton of laughs. It really does.
It'll really boost your mood. It's actiony. It's got a little bit of love and stuff in there, but not too much that it makes you sick. And yeah, obviously the two main characters are just awesome, and I'll give it a 7.5.
I'm gonna give this one a 7. I really enjoyed the whole aesthetic between Kev and Woody. It was funny. So yeah, check it out, definitely. A movie that kind of I knew what to expect going in was the new Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie. And I'm so glad that they got Andy Samberg in the movie because I'm a huge Andy Samberg fan. And John Mulaney was also very funny in this movie. I really enjoyed the movie for what it was, you know. I knew to expect, you know, live action meets animation and all that. And it was really cool. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute. I thought it was, you know, everything that you'd expect from a Disney movie. And I was a Chip and Dale's fan since I was like freaking 5 years old, watching it, you know, Saturday morning, putting it on the TV, and then the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers came on. So it took me back while watching this movie. So I enjoyed it. It was also one of those kind of once-off type of movies, but for what it was, I'll give it a 7. I thought it was cute. I enjoyed it.
I also really liked it, and I think what I liked about it is a lot of movies with like cartoony stuff, they introduce cartoons into like real life. Almost like the Looney Tunes movie, remember that?
Looney Tunes Back in Action, Space Jam, those kinds of movies.
And a lot of those movies I don't like. It's like they try and make it work, but it doesn't. This one makes that combination work really well, and I love Andy Samberg, and I give it a 7. So, oh my goodness. Another movie that has scored really high from the both of us actually is The Outfit.
What a surprise that was.
That movie, it kind of starts off and you're not really sure, okay, what is going on here? Like, who are these people? What is going on? But yeah, it's about this man who has a tailor shop, and there's some thing going on there that no one knows about, and he's like covering up for this
syndicate, you could basically say.
Thank you. And the way everything just unfolds and what happens at the end.
It's insane. We went into this movie we didn't see any trailers, we didn't hear any spoilers, we didn't, know anything about this movie going into it, and holy crap were we surprised. It's so brilliantly written, directed, acted, everything. I haven't seen a lot of Mark Rylance movies in the past, but he's amazing in this movie, and it's really good. It's amazing. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Probably beats Uncharted in the way of my favorite movie of the year so far. But what a surprise it was indeed. And for fans of Teen Wolf, Dylan O'Brien is also in this movie, so you should check it out. A movie that surprised us with how the story went, and I know a lot of people weren't big fans of this movie, but Spiderhead on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. It's one of those movies that you won't click on it reading what it's about, but we saw the poster, we were like, she's a huge Chris Hemsworth fan, and she was like, I want to watch this movie, and I was like, I wonder why. So we clicked on the movie, and it was actually really good. The story is something new and fresh. It's something that I don't think really has been explored before in the way of stories as they go. And it's the same director as the new Top Gun movie, so that should tell you a lot about the film. And yeah, it was a totally new role for Chris Hemsworth as well. I've never seen him play a character quite as, I want to say, intricate as this one, but it was a surprisingly good movie and something I'll probably watch again, to be honest. And I enjoyed it for what it is. Again, it's on Netflix as well, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll give it a strong 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll also give it a 7. Like you said, I love Chris Hemsworth, so I like watching his movies, but this one, it is a very new, idea that they had. It's not the same old thing you've seen 1,000 times. It's completely, like, you can actually be like, wow, what if this was real? Like, what would you do in that situation? And it's very suspensey, very action, quite funny, awesome soundtrack. And
amazing soundtrack. Yeah, that's probably like one of the best parts of this movie is the soundtrack.
But again, on Netflix, go check it out. Alright, you guys, so the last movie on our list for today is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So, obviously we were very excited to watch this movie because you guys know we are big Marvel fans, and the first Doctor Strange movie was very good. So I had, quite high hopes for this movie, and I don't think it's a bad movie, but
it's severely underdelivered.
Yeah, I expected a bit more, but I think it's because, Avengers and the way that ended, it was just It was.
Like,
They
we
couldn't have done it
knew,
better.
you know, like the rumors going around, like Tom Cruise is going to be in it, and all of those other people's. We knew that wasn't going to happen.
No.
It wasn't going to have all of those people, even one of the Spider-Men or anything in it. You know, we knew that going in, but still, it was rather disappointing. It's I don't know how to quite put it, but a lot of the things that we loved got shat on by this movie, kind of, in a sense.
And I am disappointed that the Illuminati characters that they introduced there, who I was like so excited about, that they kind of just had like 10 minutes in the movie and then.
Not even 10
And
minutes.
that really kind of sucked. I would have liked to see more of them.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. All in all, it was a big disappointment for me. And I prefer the first Doctor Strange to the second one, honestly. So I can't, get it. I can't give this movie more than a 6.5 out of 10. It feels like there's a lot missing from this movie.
I would give it an average 7 because even though it isn't my favorite Marvel movie or even favorite movie of the year, it's not the worst Marvel movie either.
Definitely not.
Captain Marvel. There are a lot worse that they have delivered to us, Marvel. But I would give it a 7. You watch it. I mean, obviously, if you're a fan, you're gonna want to watch it.
There are some saving graces to this movie when you do watch
And
it.
the CGI is
Obviously,
it was really good.
it's Marvel. Hello, how is it not going to be good?
And it's, I mean, a lot of characters that you love and that you followed for how long now.
Yeah.
But I expected a little more, but a 7, from me.
Well, there we go. That's I think part 1
Mm.
of 2022 movies, because I mean we still have a lot more movies to go. Top Gun wasn't even on this list. We
Yeah.
still need to get around to watching that. So
The Thor movie.
there's a lot more that we can review as time goes on this year. But for now, I mean, those are the ones that we have seen and can recommend. So if you guys want us to do another one of these, let us know in the comments down below, because, we don't mind. It's fun. Please follow us on our social media pages, because, we want you to follow us.
Matthew reached 8,000 followers on TikTok! Yay! Literally yesterday.
2K away from the 10K goal.
Yay!
And then, might start dropping merch.
That's awesome.
But we'll see how that goes. And and Cindy's doing recipe stuff every now and again on her TikTok as well. So if you guys want fun and delicious ideas, go check that out. And then we'll see you guys next week with another fun video. Until then, stay safe and have an awesome time.
Bye.
Bye.